Here's the thing about Netflix records. They aren't just bragging rights, they rewrite what gets greenlit next. Every time a title blows up, you can feel the ripple through budgets, sequels, even entire genres. But what if I told you the crown for the single most watched Netflix title ever changed hands in a way almost nobody predicted? Today, we're going to climb the mountain of megahits, one step at a time. And at the top, we'll name the new champ and explain exactly why it won. I am Jake and this is nerdsection.com. First, quick ground rules, because Netflix's scoreboard has evolved. Netflix now ranks most popular by views in the first 91 days after release. A view isn't a click, it's total hours watched divided by a title's runtime. This lets you compare long shows and short movies on one scale. They used to spotlight 28-day hours. Now it's a 91-day views first world. That matters for everything we're about to say. So, the landmarks. When Squid Game hit, it didn't just bend the needle, it snapped it. Season 1 racked up 265.2 million views in its first 91 days, alongside a jaw-dropping 2.2 billion hours watched. That wasn't just a Korean phenomenon, it was a global pop culture moment, Halloween costumes and all. And yes, even after 2 more seasons, that first season's footprint remains historic. Then Wednesday arrived and turned a moody teen into a worldwide fashion and dance trend. Season 1 stands as Netflix's most popular English language series ever, with 252.1 million views and 1.72 billion hours in that same 91-day window. That's huge stamina for a genre show and proof that quirky can scale when the character is irresistible. On the film side, Red Notice was the early boss. For a long stretch, it was the movie to beat, pulling in 230.9 million views and an even bigger flex on the old metric, 454.2 million hours watched in its 91-day run. Longer runtimes help on hours, but views leveled the field, and that becomes important in a minute. Here's where the story takes a turn. In 2025, an animated, music-driven action fantasy sprinted up the charts. Not a sequel, not a superhero tentpole, not tied to a pre-existing cinematic universe. And it edged past Squid Game by the slimmest of margins on the metric Netflix cares about most. Do you already know which title is the most watched on Netflix? It just appeared even twice on the Netflix dashboard I showed you. Before we reveal it, let's quickly talk strategy. Netflix's views metric rewards titles that spark replays and family co-viewing. A tight runtime can boost that completed view calculation. Cultural wave plus rewatchable length equals rocket fuel. That's why a 2-hour movie can compete with a 9-hour season of TV, and that's how we end up with a surprise winner. Alright, The Crown. As of early September 2025, the single most watched Netflix title in history, measured by views in its first 91 days, is K-pop Demon Hunters with 266 million views. That's just enough to pass Squid Game Season 1's 265.2 million, making it the all-time #1 across movies and series on Netflix's own most popular lists. For context, K-pop Demon Hunters logged 443.4 million hours, while Red Notice still leads movies by hours with 454.2 million. But again, Netflix ranks the all-timers by views, not hours. If this breakdown helps you make sense of the shifting scoreboard, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next deep dive when these rankings inevitably shuffle again. Let's stack the titans. Apples to apples. On shows, Squid Game Season 1 sits at 265.2 million views and 2.205 billion hours in 91 days. Wednesday Season 1 is the English language champ with 252.1 million views and 1.719 billion hours. Stranger Things 4 follows at 140.7 million views, still monstrous given its marathon runtime. On films, Red Notice's view total is 230.9 million, but its hours crown reminds you star power plus length still matters in the old metric. And perched above them all, K-pop Demon Hunters is the new #1 by views at 266 million. Each of those numbers is straight from Netflix's top 10 pages, which are updated with the 91-day methodology. So why did K-pop Demon Hunters break the ceiling? 3 practical reasons. First, the views metric favors completion, and an energetic sub-2-hour film invites rewatching. Second, it taps into the global K-pop ecosystem, which behaves like a built-in street team across continents. Third, Netflix placed real weight behind it, front page placement, heavy trailer rotation, and a zeitgeist-aware hook that travels without translation. None of that guarantees a record, but combined with the views methodology, it creates the perfect runway. Let's recap. We started with the rules of the game, 91 days, views over hours, then climbed the mountain of megahits. Squid Game rewriting the playbook for non-English TV, Wednesday proving English language genre can go toe-to-toe, and Red Notice anchoring the movie side with heavyweight hours. At the peak, a curveball, K-pop Demon Hunters is now Netflix's most watched title ever by views at 266 million. That's a razor-thin victory over Squid Game. But on Netflix's scoreboard, a win is a win. What should you watch next? If you want the cultural touchstone, Squid Game Season 1 is still the deepest water cooler well. If you want the biggest English language phenomenon, Wednesday Season 1 is your ticket. If you're here for star-driven action with the longest legs on hours, Red Notice hasn't left the gym. And if you want to see the current all-time views champ and understand this new era of Netflix math in action, you hit play on K-pop Demon Hunters. Your turn. What metric do you think should define most watched? Total hours or views that level runtime? Drop your take in the comments and tell us what to rank next. And if this helped, subscribe so you don't miss the follow-up when the leaderboard changes again. Until then, look around on our other channels. See you next time here on Nerd Section.